Official with Jeannie, and today we're at the season finale of The Life They Present, and we're going to be interviewing the two hosts and creators of the show, JAMYR GREENE, aka JAMYR Official on Instagram, okay, and R.A. King, aka Ambitious Soul. Again, I'm here and I'm Official with Jeannie, so we're going to get right into it, okay? First question is, the general type of question is, how was season 1? What worked for you guys? What needs more attention?
It's honestly, season 1 it went really well. It was an eye opener. I feel like it was a lot of trial and error, and you can see that progression from the first episode up until our most recent episode, and how we started off. Our questions varied, our location setup, and how we interviewed people also varied from beginning to where we are now. I feel like our comfort level, with me as the host interviewing people, and then Mir there as well, I feel like our interview style has also evolved and developed over the course of this past year. Who we can get on for season 2, we have some ideas in mind for that, just trying to go bigger and better.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a good point about how you said that your interview style, like getting comfortable. Like I feel like people, they see the host and like, okay, well that's like a pretty simple job. You just interview people, but like to get comfortable with like having those like conversations flow really easily is something that does progress as the season goes on. And JAMYR, tell me how you felt about season 1, what worked, what needs more attention.
Season 1 was it was interesting because it was more going into the part of working in a team standpoint. Before The Life They Present, I had a 30-second portrait, and I was doing most of that on my own, from the interviews to the editing, and then like just the thought process of gathering people and stuff. So then just hitting up Ari about this literally back around this time last year. It's kind of crazy because each episode we learn more on the production level of things we need, especially for pre-production. Stuff on set, cameraman, thought process of telling the story, but not making it so bland, and making sure that there's a way we find a way to showcase these specials of people, whether it's a physical form of art or something that could be broadcast.
Each and every episode is making sure that we tailor each interview to that person, that artist, that creative, and what they do. From Shannon, who's a great painter and a great artist. She's done a tat for me as well. So she does everything.
The show too popped out there. Shout out to her.
Then we had showcasing his DJ style, his background, even to Kärma in the studio for that interview. So everything tied in to what that person does, and we made sure to tailor each and every episode to that person and allow them to really share their background and their platform uniquely and not have anything tied together too much.
It feels like with the way how we had different people, starting from a fashion designer and then our latest one, which is an R&B singer, getting into these locations definitely that fit within whatever that they were creating. So like you said with Shannon's, having a whole studio decked out with her paintings, and then you have Michael, we're in his fashion studio. We have Malachi, we're in a very calm setting, but it gives the feel of a film photographer.
If y'all look back at the episodes, just peep the art thought process, okay? How did this whole idea get started? And what was literally the first idea, how you hit them up, how you decided this is what I'm gonna do? Tell me about that.
I think I still have those messages because I remember one day, it was probably after episode 3, I had just gone all the way back up until December from March at the time. And I remember sending him a voice message.
It started with a voice message.
Really started with a voice message. I was explaining
That's how it always
to him
starts.
everything. I was like, yo, I got this new documentary series idea. This is probably around November, I think it was.
A different idea at first? No problem. So you said you originally had a different idea at first that you were first starting with, and then it kind of...
Well, I was starting with a documentary series, but I wanted to roll off and get more in depth, and I was going to just do another one by myself, but then I was like, nah, I know there's a way I could bring in other people to where I could just be behind the camera and worry about the production value of it instead of worrying about what type of questions I'm gonna ask and all that stuff. Exactly. So hitting him up in November, I just explained everything to him in a voice message, and he was like, yo, this could be really big, and we know we both can execute it in the right standpoint.
Yeah, so I think it was like a week or two after we came back from Cali for Complex Con.
Yeah.
And we had really like, while we was out in Cali, we was just discussing a lot of different ideas, met some cool people and stuff while we was out there. And then we was like, yo, we can expand and combine our visions together to really like tap into creatives and bring people together, because that's what we do anyway. Anytime me and JAMYR work together, it's just crazy opportunities that open up for us and for other people, and that's what we really wanted to display and express for each and every one of these episodes, is highlight all this talent that's around us, and provide a platform for people to really showcase like, oh, I'm a superhero at this, or I'm a superhero at that.
Using your talents to help other people like build their talents, because like, why it gotta be lonely at the top? Why can't we take everybody up with us? Like, they good at that, what they doing, so I'm good at what I'm doing, so let's work together, you feel me? So you guys feel like season 1 followed the idea that was the original idea?
Yeah, I definitely think it did. It's really our trial and error season. I could say that, but I don't really try to take anything as trial and error. We aim for a perfection. we aim for like perfection for each episode, but I could definitely say one thing, like our storytelling was like so on point from start to finish, and I felt like each episode didn't start the same way, as far as like, oh well, I've been doing this for this long and I've been doing that for that long. We start off with stuff that doesn't even involve with their certain craft and really diving into their life, from all the artists that we interviewed, and it was more like, I want to learn about you, I want to be able to understand your craft, that it makes me want to tap into it. Yeah, I just feel like every episode we walked away just feeling way better, and way more ideas will come for the next one.
Our friend group in general and the people that we're tapped into exceeds all boundaries. So like we have friends and people who are creatives in all platforms, all genres, and a lot of times we would just sit down, send each other lists of people that we know, people that are interested.
And the lists were long too.
Interesting.
It was a lot of people.
Tedious, and it'll just be more and more creatives of different platforms, and who also can tap in and show us how we can be better as well. And I feel like that's all it comes down to, is just expanding the vision.
So like when you guys are planning out, okay, like writing on your list, like this is who I want, what is like the criteria of somebody that qualifies? Like if somebody's watching this right now, they're like, I want to be on this show next season, what should they, like, what are you guys looking for in somebody you want to interview?
We look for drive, and I wouldn't just want to say somebody that's unique, but they're it's like they give a master class within their craft that they teach effortlessly. I feel like with each person we tapped into, it's like they know what they're doing without being told, and it's more than just showing up for your job. And there's so many people that we could have interviewed, but I feel like with the 5 people that we chose, whether we did know them on a personal level or not, I feel like they were able to tell their story the correct way, and it was very raw. And I feel like that's one thing with this whole series. I think we both don't just try to like make everything sound perfect and clean cut. Like, no, give your full blown raw emotion. Exactly. And it happens, like episode 2, like me when we were interviewing Mal, like we just let him talk, no interruptions, no nothing, asking questions, and it was real raw emotion.
We noticed there was a lot of behind the scenes footage that you guys included, so I just wanted to know, like, do you guys agree that it's essential to have a good team? I think you guys can agree with that, right? Okay, and how does like having a team make it easier for these type of productions to be like happening?
I would definitely say it's like less stress on like people just to worry about multiple jobs. I think most of the time the only person I would like to have multiple jobs is myself, just because I'm the producer of it, and the director. So my job is to really make sure everybody else is calm within their job, and I think we've gained enough trust within host, camera, to where they've seen like the template that we do, and that going into each episode, they're bringing their own ideas, but also following what we think is best for our overall look. And I could definitely say, even going into next year and stuff, like the amount of roles that I know we need now is actually crazy. From like social media manager, somebody that could just run our site, because I want to take as many, I want to take as much responsibility off of one person, so that we don't have to sit around and scramble. Like, everybody has a responsibility. Just do your job and we'll be perfectly fine.
I agree with that. Just making sure we stay cool, calm, and collected, because not everything goes right all the time, and like I feel like we manage that stress well. It's not too concerning, but we also know everybody's strengths, and we also know each other's weaknesses. So if you know both, you can execute each thing effectively and work as a team, because there's always going to be a situation that doesn't go as ideal, but as long as everybody knows their role, their responsibility, and can execute their responsibility to make sure that the whole is good, I think that's what really has brought us so much success.
We was in Brooklyn, and we had to walk like up 4 flights of steps with his DJ equipment, and we only had, I think we had about 4 hours in that spot, but we were still able to manage to do everything from the interview to the special. For example, with Kärma's, we wanted something. I went off of Tyler the Creator's like Earthquake music video, just because of one, Kärma's music, the setting itself for having an interview, one, and then also having a live performance, 2-on-1. That goes from setting up the lighting to the chairs, the styling and everything, the way the background is. And then for that studio itself, it was like a theater room. So I had the lights that I brought as options. I also had the theater lights that they provided too. So that came into part. And we always try to aim to do something in the same location, just because like the same all in one day, most of the time, especially with an interview or interviewing a live performance. Just because it's a hassle just already getting everybody together for that one specific day. We want to shoot everything now so that any additional footage doesn't require this space, or doesn't require you to sit down again and talk to us.
Looking on Peerspace, doing our research, also understanding the value of a space for that set period of time. Like before finding this spot, we looked on Peerspace, and there was another location that had everything we wanted and needed and was very visually appealing, but the cost of it for the amount of time, the value just wasn't making sense. I'm like, okay, we could do this somewhere else for cheaper and still have just as good of a vision, or even better. And like this all white neutral space worked perfectly.
Shout out to Black Studios.
Branching back off to Kärma's interview, we had a vision, we had the treatment ready, and then I think maybe a week or two before, he was like, yo, would you be able to style her? I was like, that's perfect. So like every time I look into, okay, what does this artist have that's like, what can I work with here? What might they be comfortable in, or what do I think they would be comfortable in? That plays a big role in the overall setting as well. And so if you look at each episode, I feel like each artist, the visuals that accompanied that episode tied in well with those artists.
You keep yourself in such like I must get this done on this date. If I don't, then I'm a failure. Like it just makes it's unrealistic at one thing, and it kind of just if you don't make those deadlines, it's gonna make you just feel worse about it. So it's like life happens very unexpectedly, so it's best not to like hold yourself so hard with these like deadlines, especially when it comes to creativity. Like creativity is something that it come like you said, like if you get burnt out, you aren't creative. You were supposed to finish that project last month, but you got burnt out that last month. That's just what it is. Like you gotta give yourself that space to like take time to breathe, take time to take a pause, take time to step back. And like it's actually crazy because let me just tell a little personal story. With my blog, I was supposed to release it on my birthday. My birthday's February 15th, but the day I was supposed to post it, my website decided not to work, and I was just like, dang, I want to post my birthday, yada yada yada. But then I posted the week after, and it was on a better day. It had a better turnout. And it's just like when you let life happen the way it's supposed to be, it turns out exactly how it's supposed to.
Facts. I can even compare that within one of the episodes, especially Showcases, because we shot Showcases episode a month before we really needed the major footage, which was for Juneteenth. So imagine, and then it didn't release until like July 7th or something. So imagine sitting on footage for 2 months, or sitting on an interview for 2 months, and then I knew I couldn't touch the interview and correctly tell the story until I had the footage from that whole weekend. And I don't, sitting on that, it made it way better for when the actual release happened, and we released it probably like a week after Juneteenth. The totality of the crowd that we attracted, and then the reaction from not just Showcase but from other people who attended Juneteenth or who were part of the Juneteenth committee. They saw the story that we told on somebody within their brand.
I've told JAMYR this since the start, that nobody on the face of this earth feels too big for us to interview, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, we could tap into whoever we want within the next month, 2 months. By this time next year, who knows where we'll be. We might be interviewing somebody in Africa or Asia.
London. That's the goal. That's where I really want to go.
Really anywhere.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we all
Wherever
obviously
we
got to
think
start
about.
with, like, the tri-state area, New York, Jersey, Philly, within people that we know. But, like, the goal is to really go out of state, go to Miami, go to Cali, go to Texas, London. One thing that I could definitely say for next season is, damn, it's so much.